following material contains strong language and adult content. Please be advised.
This is the Comfortably Poor Podcast, an uncensored, wide open, anything and everything goes podcast. You won't find anything like it. And why is that? Because the Comfortably Poor Podcast keeps it 100. Let's go.
Let's go.
Ropes.
Let's go.
Oh, my man said ropes. Speaking of ropes.
Oh, boy. This is going
You
to
guys
be
like
a
tying
hot
women up?
start to the show.
You guys like tying
Hot
women
start.
up during sex, of course.
Don't like tying.
Only during sex. You get into
don't
the tying, huh? A little,
Hey, listen,
little tying, a little spanking.
I have no problem doing that if that's what the person's into, but ultimately, that's not my go-to. In the way Adam likes to say things, it's not my go-to. Like that. I'm not about to jump on that. It's like, give me the rope. And you know what? Honestly, like a lot of
You better have rope in your house, bitch.
Check it out, right? A lot of the more violent stuff in sex, I think a lot of the reason I shy away from it is because violence for me is a very serious thing. So if I'm tying you up, I'm not thinking about like ultimately giving you pleasure, because even if it appears violent, it's something that the person wants. You know, this is consenting. You know, so rope to me seems like something I'd be using to do something a lot more serious with, not please a chick. Yeah, I'm just being honest.
Brando's thinking about strangling people and chopping up bodies.
I didn't say that.
I think it's definitely a different. I mean, the picture is different. If I'm in the street and some niggas popping off and violent shit is happening and violent shit's in the air, but if I see my girl naked with a wet ass pussy, I'm not thinking about fucking killing her. Truly, I'm not.
I get it. I get it. It's just that I don't associate. But
You're programmed that way.
Tying up, yeah, kind of. Tying up wrists and tying up ankles and putting my hands around people's throats and all that stuff. I can do it. I know how to do it. I can do it. It's just not my thing. I even have the tools to do that stuff
where do
in my
you draw the
bottom
line?
drawer
Do you pull hair?
If they want me to.
Okay, so what do you do as a normal move?
This is an interesting topic.
Wait.
Wait.
Hold on.
You actually kind of
because
just changed the topic. This is a different topic.
I'm asking.
Altogether. This isn't the
no,
same
well, I'm asking that question because everything
I'll
that we've mentioned.
And
I'm asking because everything that we've mentioned, you've said if they ask for it. So what do you do without them having to ask for it?
What you're talking about right now is on a BDSM spectrum. You're talking about tying people up. That's how you entered the conversation,
right?
With rope play. Yeah, rope play, right?
Right. So in the realm of BDSM, that's not your play. That's what you're saying.
In the realm of BDSM, tying people up is not my go-to. No, not me personally. No.
So I asked spanking, I asked pulling hair as minimal things.
Love pounding them.
Oh,
cheeks.
so
are you shying away from that in BDSM or what?
Me personally, I actually am the masochist. I like the pain. I like to receive.
That's right. Oh my God, you were the wrong person to ask.
Yeah, why did you go there? What is wrong with you? Damn God.
What? I want to know because he's saying
he wanted to ask a question. The man wanted to ask.
He's saying whatever they asked. He said whatever they asked. So I'm like, does he like? I'm just wondering if he's getting commanded to do everything in bed because that's a weird position too.
No.
Hey, do this.
No.
Keep doing this to me. I want this done.
No.
I'm like, whoa.
That's a weird jump to make, right? Like. So you're jumping from because you don't go to I'm finna rope someone up with shackles to therefore you must
No.
be told everything to do in bed. That's a weird jump to make, right?
No,
know how
you
much
said
space
if
there
they
is
asked
between
for it
those
when
two
I
things?
brought up spanking and pulling hair and other things that may seem aggressive or that may seem violent. I'm not talking specifically about sex.
Pulling hair and spanking, though, those are still sexual activities of, like you said, an aggressive nature, right? And even though those aren't my go-to, I mean, those. How much space is there between those two things and commands? Needing commands. You see the problem? Like, I'm not an aggressive person in bed. I might be aggressive inside of you, right? But I'm not a person who's going to be super aggressive.
What does that mean?
I might pound your pussy. I'm talking about beating that pussy, right? Like that's what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to be the choker, the go-to roper, the chains and stuff. That's not my thing. Now I've been with people who like that sort of shit. So I've had some practice.
Welcome to the Comfortably Poor podcast, people. The phone lines are open. 844-997-0775. We obviously jump right into it.
Can I
Comfortably Poor on Twitter at CPPod100.
Yeah. So all of you people who want to talk about like how into tying people up they are. Let's talk about that. Let's see how much of that you've actually done. Talk to me about your bondage experiences. Like, how do they go? How what's the setup? What's the role play? Is there any role play?
Okay.
Yeah, no, I want to hear all about
phone
this.
lines. Are open
yes,
again,
and I want to reiterate the phone lines are
0775.
open. Yes,
Brando wants to hear your stories.
I want to hear your stories.
This is going to be on YouTube
because
Facebook
again,
Live,
this is the
Periscope,
person
Twitch,
who's
at CPPod100.
You can use a fake name. We promise.
Hang on, this is the person who's telling you I'm not really into it. But believe you me, like I've had some fucking experiences.
He says I'm not really into it, but he wants his girl to shit on his chest.
Girl. That's great.
Yeah.
That's not.
Well, that's
again,
again, but that's part of the masochist
and that's part of the masochistic. Yeah, exactly.
You know, submissive type of deal that Brando kind of turns into in the bedroom, and that's common. Like I've talked about this before. Like a lot of people. Where you find this very common is in cops. Cops typically are, during the day, they're chasing violent shit. They're fucking grabbing criminals. They're in power. They're in a position of power. So when they come home, they want to be stripped of that power. They come home to somebody that they trust to strip that power from them because they've had a long day. It's over. I don't need to be the tough martial artist, you know, whatever. And so I get where it comes from. I get where it psychologically comes from. I've explained. I'm just a dominant person in the bedroom.
Understand where it comes from. Like if I shouldn't have to explain any more where it actually comes from. People should have this down packed. But yes, that is the bare bones explanation of why and possibly how I am the way I am. But here's the other side of that coin. If you ask the people who they're with, like people who don't really get into the concept of dom and submissive per se, but if you ask them, like, is so-and-so dominant or submissive, what they might identify as is not how the person that they might be with or might be around or might have contact with
might
identifies
consider
them as. Exactly. Yeah. And that's the other side of that that's always really fascinating because no matter how someone might appear, BDSM rules. There's an actual culture to this. There's a rule book. I reviewed it quite a bit. I don't know it as well as some because I'm not necessarily in that community, or at least not like that. But I can tell you that there are safe words, and it might appear as if the dom is in control. But in reality, the sub is always in control. There's no such thing as a dom that's in control of a situation. The sub is always in control if it's a fair situation. That's the way it has to be set up. Like that's so. No, I'm really interested in hearing about people's stories. You know, I always hear about people. People talk a lot of shit on the internet, But I want to hear some actual real life fucking stories.
All right. Well, you heard it from Brando himself. Real stories. 844-997-0775. Hashtag comfortably.
I tied my
poor
child's mother up, and she
on
tied me up in
Twitter.
return.
With what would you guys use?
Actual rope. There's actual like thick.
Like
I wouldn't
like
know the fucking
pirate
name, but I don't
cable, silk rope.
No, like silk, but like thicker silk.
What did you guys do like when you?
It was for my birthday. It was a celebration. She fucking came in a lingerie. She brought in this whole fucking thing of rope, and I tied her up, fucked the shit out of her, went another round, and then she tied me in return, and then she fucking rode me and did whatever the fuck she wanted. She went to town.
Hold up. What type? So like this is the thing, like because like I like to do again. So it gets back to my job. I like to be forced into like some of the weirdest holds, some shit that like I can only think of in my head that I can never actually try on people because it might hurt them. So I actually so
no,
like,
you know what's really hot though? I'll tell you what's really hot.
Tell me.
A girl who takes command in wanting to do reverse cowgirl.
Yeah, no, that's some shit.
That's some shit that'll make you look at that girl like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? There might be a God for tonight. But no, dude.
So how would you how would you do the hand ties? Like would you do ankle ties? Like how would you do them? Would you do a
both?
I
did both. So for the ankles I did for the ankles it was a tie using the bottom of the bed. So like the frame, it was like one of the metal frames with actual like legs. So ankles I had anchored down like that, and then same thing with the hands, but the hands I was able to the rope was able to stretch long enough. I was able to do it tied to like securely to a doorknob. So and the bed was close. Oh yeah.
Whoa, the doorknob. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yo. Yes.
Yeah.
Dude.
We don't. But look, she wanted to do it. She wanted to try it.
That's like the ghetto rack.
Yeah, nigga.
That's insane, dude. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, look, she had a good time. It was for my birthday. I don't like again. I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you at all from the beginning of this whole thing. The girl has to ask me to do these things. I'm not just gonna come out the gate, start smacking her in the face, fucking choking her. I don't live the lifestyle. I'm just specifically saying that if she asked for this stuff, I would most certainly oblige, and we would definitely get it, because I'm just a dominant in general. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, not even outside of the lifestyle. I'm just saying I have a dominant personality, right? If you would ask anybody, they would probably agree with you. So, I don't know. I think that it's experiences that you should have. I think you should do it. But the right person has to come along, and there has to be a lot of trust there. Like, I honestly would not just let any old girl tie me up. You know what I'm saying? I was really into fucking my child's mom. When we had sex, it was crazy. It was nasty shit. So like, to me, there was trust there. You know what I'm saying? I probably wouldn't let any or every other girl fucking do that shit.
Yes, trust is important. Trust is always important. You put anything like
because I didn't even want her to do it.
My fucking arms. I'm gonna teach you a valuable
lesson. I didn't want her to do it. The choking thing is wild. You're choking me. I agreed with you about
like,
that.
It's again, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, it's all wild. The whole concept of
it has to be agreed.
The whole
to.
concept of chains. The whole concept of hand. I'm talking like in your actual be outside of your house where probably things, and that's why I don't know. It's something that I have to be asked to do. I have to get in the mindset. I have to think about it.
So when
it's not my actual.
When you're asked to do it, is it something that you have to be like? Does it have to be like a conversation? Because you need to get your mind set up for it, or can she say it in bed, like, you know, do this and whatever, and it's okay if you tie me up type shit, and if like, are you processing it then? Like, how are you? Because for the girls that do ask for the shit, how are you obliging? And is it right away?
Well, normally people wouldn't ask for something like that right away, but I always get out ground
sure,
rules.
No, yeah.
The ground rules are important. And what is it that you want? How far do you want to go? How far, like, you know, what's too little, what's too much? And then based on what it is she's asking, or whoever the fuck it might be, for whoever we're talking about, we have to be inclusive. You probably ought to ask about like things surrounding that. So like, let's say you're dealing with nipple clamps, right? That's pretty innocent. You're dealing with nipple clamps. All right. Well, you might be dealing with nipple clamps, and you ask all the questions about the nipple. Well, what if you want to use those nipple clamps on a different part of a person's body? You might want to ask about that. But
look,
asking questions is amazing, and that safe word that I mentioned earlier,
I agree,
is probably more important than anything else.
Pineapples,
baby, pineapples.
Well, you know, the thing is, it's so funny.
Shout out real quick, Hannah in the chat. Thanks for tuning in today.
Hannah.
Shout out, Hannah. So one of the coolest things about, or the funniest things about this whole situation, right, is like, I don't think about my dominant personality. I don't think about walking around being this like rah, strong man, fucking meathead piece of shit guy to guy. But I'm Hispanic, right? And what are Hispanics most known for? For the romanticism of shit, right? Like the romanticizing of shit. And like, it's like, oh yeah, mi amor, yeah, yo te amo, all this shit. It's supposed to be the soft and lovey-dovey shit, which, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that sit for you fellas? I know Adam was not hugged enough, so he doesn't want to show love. They tell each other I love you on Valentine's Day and birthdays.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, definitely emotion is not my A game.
Does your girl show you emotion?
Yes.
Or is it kind of the same between the both
like
of you?
That. She's definitely more emotional than I am, and in the sense she's a little more sensitive than I am, but I think that's kind of why it works for us, because we're both kind of on that spectrum of, we don't need to be lovey-dovey 24/7. We don't need to be all cuddled up on the couch when we're watching TV. We don't need to rush to the front door to hug and kiss each other when we get home from work. We're not sitting in there in the kitchen side by side chopping vegetables together at dinner time. It's like, it's nice. It's nice when that happens every now and then. You know, we do those things, but it's not like it's a mandatory every night we have to do that stuff. You know, it's like,
right. Okay, I got you.
Maybe this is a little bit of me having a few years experience on some of
No, for sure.
Like, the lovey-dovey thing, I definitely did more of that in my early
high school years
relationships. Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
you kind
high
of
school, early
but
20s
again,
type of
you're
shit.
really trying to get the pussy back then. You know, you're trying to get in them jobs.
You tell her whatever the fuck you want her to hear.
Exactly.
Baby.
You're bringing your A game, but
Yeah, man.
my childhood has definitely paved an interesting path for my relationships as I've gotten older, because I definitely contribute to or attribute my childhood to how I kind of act today and how I feel. Like, certain emotion makes me feel uncomfortable. Like I get uncomfortable when people are too lovey-dovey or too emotional. Like it's like almost awkward for me. Like, it's take a step back, chill. That's too much. Like I don't need all that. Like
I can see that in you. I have seen you behave that way. Yeah. Yeah,
844-997-0775. Call us and tell us how you feel about emotion and lovey-dovey shit in your relationship. How far do you go with it?
Even less than that. Like you don't like too much seriousness. Like I the way you behave, Adam, sometimes is it makes me feel like I should loosen up a lot of the time.
Me too, bro. I feel like a pussy when I hear Adam talk.
I'm not good at loosening up, though. Like, I'm terrible.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, we've already had this conversation about.
But
how
I don't believe that, because you are not afraid to say a lot of things. So what, you loosen up a lot.
No. What I mean is switching gears, kind of. I guess is going from one.
Your transition from topic to topic, and you definitely have talked about that. Whereas you need to rev down. You can't just boom jump to a different topic
automatically.
Yeah. I can give my 2 cents and boom be on another topic.
No, I can't do that, dude.
In no time.
I can't.
Yeah, you gotta kind of have that rev.
Yeah, that's me too.
Say what you need to say and rev down before jumping to the next thing. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah. But Dan, you're a radio guy. No. You have to be able to bounce from topic to topic to topic, because you don't get.
I think it's also just being a good conversationalist, right? Like, I always said that being a good radio personality is being a good conversationalist, because outside of these microphones, if I was hanging out with you guys, we would be talking the same way, and I would be asking you guys 100%. The same fucking questions and everything. And 100%. I think it really is about having a conversation. Do you know how to hear people? Do you know how to interpret what they're saying? And do you know how to respond in a way that adds to the conversation?
Right.
So, but a lot of people, Adam, like, and as I grow older, like, I learned that it's less common to find people like that. Like, there are more people like Brando. That's a common thing, where they have to mentally prepare or mentally wind down before they switch over, where I'm just fucking ready to go. Like, even when an argument is done, like if I'm just arguing with my girl, I'm back to flipping on my phone as soon as the second the argument is done, baby. I got to get work done. We got to move. We got to move.
I want to kind of go back to like emotions in childhood, and this kind of ties together with that too. And I think we've all talked about our childhoods a little bit, our parents and stuff, our upbringing. And I think me and Dan are a little. Well, no, I guess we all are too, Brando. Because your dad was a similar situation to us too, but we didn't have a very dominant father figure per se in our childhoods. Like Brando, I know your dad got you into the martial arts and did a lot of things for you, but at the same time, he wasn't there. And Dan, your dad was the same way. Now, my dad was there, but I lived with my mom and did kind of the divorced dad thing. And so
the visitation type shit.
I didn't get a lot of like father-son time to kind of really bond with him,
Right, bond.
So did you guys have like a particular individual that was a father figure? Like, did you guys ever have those talks growing up? Like, I know, Dan, you've talked about like you just got it from the internet. You got it from TV, a lot of things. Like, the sex talk, or even like shaving, like learning how to shave. Like, did you guys have anybody there was that person for you guys? Or was it your actual father?
Nah, I did, actually.
Go ahead, Dan.
My aide, I had the same guy who did my brailing. He was there to get all the stuff handled, to get my braille stuff, to get my, I mean, he was just the all around helper. And it just lucked out for me where a lot of students who do have AIDS and go through school with AIDS,
not AIDS as in AIDS?
Not as in the disease AIDS.
He is aid free. He is clean.
Monkey giving.
That's great.
He's referring to a person, a helper.
Yeah,
AIDS.
an assistant.
I'm gonna give you AIDS.
I'm gonna give you a.
Just like in a matter of 15 seconds, you talked about having AIDS way too much right there. Like, look, no offense to anyone.
I was
AIDS
hoping,
is very
and you know what's so
treatable
crazy?
today.
Because I hear
That is
myself on a
very,
delay in the
very-
headphones. Like I hear what the stream hears, and I'm like, man, I hear the word AIDS a lot. I'm like, somebody's gonna interpret this shit crazy. I was waiting for one of you motherfuckers to say it. I should have known it was gonna be Adam first. God damn it.
I'll say this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't know you were done. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
No. But that guy, as much of a corny fucking white guy he was, and it annoyed me as a kid. He was just such a fucking corny guy. But my God, I mean, through him I learned so much, and I also had a confidant that I told shit to, like, yo, I fucking smoked weed for the first time. I fucking had sex for the first fucking time. Like, that was the kind of shit that, like, yeah, I might have learned shit from the internet, but I did have a person that I actually went to talk to who, like, he was just shocked that it was my age. You know, at my age, shit was happening so early. But it was never from a judgment, a judgmental place. So I always appreciated that. And I didn't realize that until later. Yeah, I didn't realize that until later because I honestly hated that he was in school with me. And I feel like just having that in school with you diminishes your value. People look at you differently, and you can kind of assess the people who will treat you normal to the people who will be like, oh yeah, he's the blind kid with the helper.
Was he like a younger guy, like a dude trying to get his college degree, doing like education?
No. Older.
Older dude. Okay.
Yeah. So he was with me from kindergarten all the way to senior year of high school.
Do you talk to him today still?
That's 12 fucking years. Yeah, we talk from time to time. And what's so crazy is, like, I graduated from high school and I went over to his house to, he grilled some burgers and stuff. And we fucking smoked weed in his garage. And it was like the first time we had ever done that. And that's when I was like, that's when I realized, like, holy shit. Like, this fucking guy, he never could do this before. And I remember him saying that, like, he was like, I'm pretty sure, because smokers know smokers. He was like, I'm pretty sure you know that I smoke or whatever. And
it was this, the bat signal was deployed.
You just knew, bro. You just knew.
Yeah.
It's like my music teacher. I talk about my music teacher all the time. That I didn't believe my friends. I didn't believe my friends when they told me he would come in with fucking red eyes like a motherfucker, high as shit in the mornings. And I didn't believe it until fucking I talked to Nick later, and I would ask Nick, I'm like, yo, like, Smith was a stoner, right? He's like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, fuck yeah, he was. So, yeah, 1,000%, dude. Like, that's the kind of shit that it turned into. Like, I didn't realize, though, until after high school how much of an impact he had. I just hated being the blind kid with a helper.
With the
but
helper.
I'm very
with
grateful.
AIDS. The blanket with AIDS.
Yeah.
What about
That's
you,
a news
Brando?
story.
Did you have someone in particular?
To be honest, I didn't have anyone in particular. There were a couple that stand out more than others. But I've had I guess more of an assorted line of father figures throughout the years. Some of them have passed away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just age. One of them was my grandfather. My maternal grandfather was huge. Like I'd climb under cars with him and work on engines, and I learned to take apart an engine and put it back together. I learned later that that's why I was pretty good at shop class, because all the stuff I was doing in that garage with him. It was pretty fucking crazy. And then, yeah, of course, there was my actual dad, and then my stepdad was actually pretty influential. Amazingly influential, actually. And then, of course, the martial art teachers, a lot of my martial art, not all, but a lot of my martial art teachers, and for me, a lot is about 4, if a number's forced, have been very influential have been very influential, like, paternal figures. But to be honest, those are kind of the ones that have died. Like, half of them are dead. So, like, 2 of them are gone already. And that's, yeah, so.
Yeah, see, my pops was, like I said, was there, but, like, we just didn't, I don't know. We didn't talk like that. Like, I didn't talk to him about sex. I didn't even, like, he didn't show me how to shave. And it's not that he didn't show me. If I would have asked him, I'm sure he would have showed me. Like, I just learned to do it. Like, I just picked it up on my own. I just realized there came a point where, like, I was getting this, like, peach fuzz and scraggly hairs on my face, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I need to shave now. And I just, like, taught myself how to do it. And a lot of shit, too. Like,
Same here, people, brother.
As I come across people, they're just like, oh, you're just kind of like a chill white dude. Like, you seem kind of lame, to be honest. And I'm like, I guess today, sure, that's how it was. But 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, like through my 20s, I was wilding. Like, I don't know. I've got so many stories. Like, I learned a lot of shit just from the street, just from my boys. Like, I agree with you. Crowd, so I learned a lot of shit just from hanging with the boys.
I had a former homie.
That goes back to because we were talking about emotion. So it just kind of was tying that.
No. It's a good question because you know we talk, like, if you want to talk about people who really made an imprint, like, I want to give my grandpa a fucking shout out too, man, because that dude is a hard worker. That man is in his late 60s. He's always owned his own business. All right? Yeah. And that he left New Jersey 14 years ago to go to Florida. And he was supposed to fucking settle over there, bro. He was supposed to chill. That was like, yo, you worked hard. You know, we got all this money from the fucking business. Let's just go buy a nice ass house and just chill. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. My man got 3 stores now.
Damn, that's hot.
What's his business?
Shoes. He's selling sneakers.
Oh, shoes. Okay. Like legit shoes store. Or like some dress shoes or what?
Nah, like sneakers and shit, like legit. Yeah.
Okay.
And so like
your grandpa's got
he'll
the
carry
plug.
some of the new
You need to talk.
He'll carry some of the new stuff, but you know, you'll also can find a lot of different type. It's like a fucking warehouse of goddamn shoes, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, we might need to talk off air. I might need to get the
Listen,
plug.
bro. It's crazy. It's like, it's wild because that's the thing. Like he that's that hard working. It's just built in some people. You know what I'm saying? They have the opportunity to sit down at like 65 and just fucking chill and relax, sit on that money and enjoy, go on vacations or whatever, live life. But like, nah, fuck, I gotta work, bro. You gotta move, nigga. You gotta move. And that shit is so inspiring to me. So my grandpa.
My grandpa on my dad's side, my dad doesn't really know him either. We've learned a lot about him in the last.
Nah, he was a savage.
I did that 23andMe, but like my mom's dad, he died when I was 12 or 13, and I spent a lot of time at their house, kind of growing up because my mom kind of fucked off a couple times and got sick, and so I'd have to go stay at my grandparents' house a little bit. And my grandpa was the shit. But I don't know that I was like old enough necessarily to really put two and two together how much I did look up to him.
Sure.
Until he passed away. When he did pass away, it was super hard on me. I realized like how close I really was to him. And same thing, like he worked his ass off and retired and then lived a great life. Drove Cadillacs, had the cars he wanted, a beautiful house. Like that side of the family, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before, that my mom's sisters, we were the black sheep of the family. And so it was always like, you always kind of felt.
I'm always
like
the friend. I'm always the friends with the black sheep. I'm never friends with the rich fucking people in the family. God damn it.
Right.
Why couldn't I met your fucking sister, your mom, your fucking aunts?
Yeah.
And they're fucking your cousins.
I don't think I had that. Like you guys had tight bonds, and look, I realized, like I said, I realized it later on how much I probably did learn from my grandpa and look up to him. But yeah, I didn't have that influential person. Like I just did a lot of stupid shit. I got mixed in with the wrong crowds and just figured it out. I just figured out how to do life, I guess. I don't know. There wasn't much.
I agree though. I mean, I didn't have the person to teach me how to shave. It was trial and error through conversations with my friends.
Yeah.
Yo, y'all shave y'all nuts. Y'all shave y'all beards.
Yeah.
Y'all shave y'all this. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, nothing embarrassed me. Like the way that I am now is really how I was then. I never was embarrassed to ask questions. I never was. So when people be like, "Yo, like, why you talking about that shit around niggas?" I'm like, "Bro, you're insecure. Shut the fuck up." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm asking a real fucking question to the real niggas in here. You know what I'm saying? So it was never that insecure shit. Dog, I just asked some random ass people. I told the story. I asked some random ass fucking people in Philly where Condom Kingdom is to point us in the direction of fucking Condom Kingdom. Because everybody I was with was too pussy to ask. They were like, "You're gonna ask people?" I'm like, "If y'all ain't gonna look it up, then fuck yeah. What the fuck else is there to do? It's a store that's here. Because it has condom in the fucking name and it's a sex shop, all of a sudden it's uncomfortable for you, you fucking little 12-year-olds? Suck my asshole. I have no patience for that kind of childish shit.
Real quick, Hannah in the chat said the physical part of a relationship is super important to her. And I do agree with that. But if that's like top of the list for you on a relationship, you're not gonna find that from me. Like that's you gotta.
Well, that's why there are different types of people, right? Like there are different types of people to match other people. No. Because physical stuff for me is, if it's not at the top of the list, it's pretty fucking close. I'd say, but I would also say that it's possible for more than one thing to be at the top of the list. So,
agreed.
Yeah, physical stuff is important to me.
844-997-0775. Give us a call if you want to share a story. Ask us a question. Ask us anything. We are open books. Stimulate our minds. Get your own mind out of a pretzel if you've got something that you've been trying to think about and you want us to help you figure that question out. I don't know. 844-997-0775 at CPPod100 on all social media platforms. Hashtag comfortably poor. Use it. Chat with us live. Dan, earlier you had said something about smoking with your aide, and it made me think too. Like, do you guys remember the first time? I know you guys aren't, Brando a little more than Dan, but you guys aren't super big drinkers. Do you guys remember the first time you got drunk, like as a kid or whenever, like your first time actually, not tasting beer, not tasting liquor, but actually.
No. I do remember. I remember the first time I got drunk and something like hungover. Like, I mean, I had, what was it? Gin. And
sound like a delinquent.
Crown Royal and I had a cocktail.
All together?
Yeah, all together. Not mixed together, but like all that night. Like gin. Shots. Yeah. Well, not even gin shots. Cups of alcohol. Dude,
gin is
wild. Weird, okay, so when I was 12, I drank gin in my buddy's backyard. I drank it 10 minutes after drinking it. I passed out for 30 minutes. Woke up.
Wow.
Like, what the fuck just happened to me? Like, dude, I thought I took like ketamine. 13 or 14, maybe.
Okay.
15, maybe. Something like that. I was young. I was youngish. And then like 3 or 4 years later, same buddy, we're partying. Probably 4 years later, and I'm having all types of Crown Royal, gin, tequila, Corona beers, Heineken. Like, I'm putting shit away, put them away, bro. Like, shit's going down, right? And yo, dude, we need to get him on here and tell that story. I must have pissed in someone's front yard that wasn't theirs. I pissed in their yard, and then I came back to the house. And now this is the thing. It's one of those stories, like one of those drunk stories that, like, it kind of passes in the tail of time. No one really knows. One person tells it one way, one person tells it a different way. But it was said that someone got out of bed. No one knows exactly who got out of bed, and a stand fell over. And a bunch of shit just fell on the ground. Like, no one knows. No one really knows who the fuck got their drunk ass out the bed. We're just walking to the bathroom to take a piss. Knocked an entire stand of Mexican collectibles on the fucking floor. That's terrible. It's terrible. No,
that's horrible, dude.
But yeah, the next day I did feel. But bro, they were still rolling, bro. They were still drinking. They was like, yo, it's 11 in the morning and
oh my god.
18, however old, I think I was 17 or 18.
Yeah.
I was feeling myself though that night, nigga. I was great. I was lit.
The heavy drinking definitely didn't start until later. I remember 16 is when I started. And I remember like 16, 17 having drinks and not really getting fucked up until, holy mother of fucking God. My ex was visiting me. She came to stay with me for some time. And we went to a party. My buddy was throwing a going away to college party. And man, I did not think going shot for shot would fuck me up like that, but we went shot for shot with a bottle of Grey Goose, just finished the whole bottle together in less than 3 minutes. It was a big ass fucking bottle too. It was fucked up. About 7 shots a piece. 7, 8 shots a piece. And my buddy was like, "Oh well, because the thing was so frustrating. Nobody wanted to do shot for shot, and we're like, yo, come on, like we're celebrating for this man's birthday, and the more people that there is, the less alcohol there is to have to drink up. Well, they all wanted to be little pussies. Some of them are already fucking napping, just from like eating fucking shit and whatever. So." He's like, bro, you trying to fucking just go shot for shot with me? I was like, bro, you're my dog. Like, I'm never going to turn down my homie. Like, that's one thing. I'm
Really?
a loyal ass nigga to my dog.
Is that a rule? Is that a rule?
That's
so
my
will
dog.
Will you go shot for shot with me?
Absolutely. Until I pass out 1,000%.
Oh
I will.
But I love you. I love you, though.
7 shots, and then I'm out. I don't do big shots.
This is
I'm a shot.
Again, I'm not going to last as long as you. I'm not going to last as long as you. But if you're in my face asking me shot for shot,
yes,
I'm never going to, like, you're my guy. You're my guy. I'm not going to say no. That's my rule.
Yo, that's exciting, bro.
I know how to say no.
That's
now.
my fucking rule.
I don't get to that point.
It's not even about not knowing how to say no. I just don't.
No, but I know there's always
feel
that
like
guy that's like, come on, we're 13 deep. Let's keep going, brother.
No, okay, no. When I'm calling it done, I'm calling it done. You're not fucking control.
Yeah.
The what I'm saying though is like you like, I hate the cliche, but you really only fucking live once, and like. Especially if my dog is like alone and nobody else is wanting to do it with him, yo, I'm gonna be the nigga that always steps up, be like, yo, I'm that nigga, yo, let's go,
that's
dog.
what's up, dude. Respect to that. That is what's up.
I'm a loyal ass nigga to my homies, yo.
I'm all for it. Listen, I'm all for it. I want to do that, dude. Like, I'm all for it, dude. I'm with you. I'm not going to just, keep drinking just to keep. I'm gonna stop when I feel good, But I can drink, bro. Like, I literally, you can ask the people that know me. I can put some shit away when I want to, and then I go on hiatus for about a month and a half, and then But it just depends, bro. Like, but I can make some shit disappear, bro. But shot for shot is But normally, I'm not a shots person. I'm either.
I'm not either.
No, I don't do alcohol though. I'm not a drinker.
No. Well, I'm gonna. Yeah. I like water. Like, I drink more water probably than most.
I have Jameson.
Right now, but I mean, we're talking about.
But I know. But when it comes to liquor,
can I drink Jameson? I'm gonna have a shot of Jameson in a minute.
I like clear liquor, right? I like clear liquor, and I drink a lot of beer these days.
Now, I like liquor.
I love
IPA,
beer.
Yes, clear
and malt liquor
more than dark liquor.
Yeah, more than dark. Yeah, I hate dark. I can't.
But I drink it. I like a good whiskey. Like JMO's good. I mean,
there's one type of dark liquor that I can drink.
$30, a little more than that.
There's one type of dark liquor I can actually drink, and that's brown vodka. But I can't. I don't. Shouldn't drink dark liquor.
I didn't even know brown vodka was a thing.
Do you know? Oh, cool. I can explain it here. I never got to explain it in public before. Do you know?
Well, hold on. So Brando, yours was like 14, 15. Dan, yours was like 14, 15.
Yeah, I was like 15, 16 is when it started when I started drinking. But like, it's so crazy because at 15 I would drink, but I didn't feel shit. It's so fucked up. And like,
see, I got drunk for the first time like at 12, and with my two brothers who were like 9 and 10, I got my little younger brothers drunk, and we were drinking MGD, Miller Genuine Draft, mixed with orange juice. And that was before we really knew what brass monkeys were. Like, a brass monkey is OJ and usually Old English. And we got so hammered, like, we were staying at my buddy Josh's uncle's house. And shout out Uncle D, Uncle Dennis, rest in peace. But we were drinking his MGD, which got him mad, and mixing it with OJ. And we got so fucking drunk and like passed out at like 10 p.m. at night. And we're young kids. We could stay up till 3 in the morning and it wouldn't even faze us. But we were passed out at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. We got up. We didn't really know what hangovers were, but as I got older, I was like, oh, that was definitely a hangover. His Uncle D made us like a fat breakfast of like fresh hash browns in the deep fryer, some runny ass egg. That was the best breakfast I ever had.
Soak it up. Soak it up.
It was so good. But yeah,
How hungover were you? Like, did you have a major headache and shit?
I wasn't like super hungover. I just didn't feel right. Like I knew I didn't feel right. And then as I got older and started drinking more and would talk about this story with people, I'd be like, yeah, no, I was probably definitely a little hungover for sure. That was probably my first. And then I kind of I got lucky too. I didn't get hangovers. Basically until
I don't either.
Like 28, 29, I didn't get hangovers. And then my body just went to shit and I started
You
I
know
get a
what?
little hungover every time
I
I
don't
drink now.
I don't get hangovers. I'll tell you what, I got 2, maybe 3 considerable things that I might call symptoms of a hangover in my life. No, one definitely was a hangover. The other 2 were kind of like intense what the fuck moments, you know. They kind of were cleared up after some fruit, water, and a little bit of exercise. But like the other one was that Tito's vodka. Tito's vodka is that shit that you really need to be careful. Like that shit is dangerous.
Tito's is a motherfucker.
Tito's, G, listen, I'm telling
you know who put me on Tito's, right?
Tito's in Grey Goose, you get borderline top shelf. So I mean, it's definitely smoother. It's definitely
that's the
1000%.
That's the no. That's the power.
Yeah,
that's the power. Its smoothness is what makes you drink more of it, bro. By the time I was
it's like
done,
Dominican rum.
The bottle was almost gone. Yeah, but bro, Dominican rum.
It's like some bruggy.
Let me tell
it's
you
like some bruggy, nigga. Some brugal, nigga. Oh my fucking god!
Listen, in an afternoon, I can drink 2/5 of Dominican rum, and that following evening,
bro.
I can put away another 1/2. I can.
2/5?
Dog.
Are we talking you're functioning after 2/5?
I don't know about functioning.
No.
I'm not. I'm in a chair. I'm in a chair.
I'm gonna go with it. You're not functioning after 1.
This nigga's ready to start a fight.
No.
He's putting holes in the wall.
I'm gonna put it down. I'm going to be functioning, but like not moving around. Like I might be able to talk and sounding crazy, but I'm like.
Listen, have you had Dominican rum before, Adam?
Dominican rum.
Oh yeah. I just had some.
You've had some bruggy?
In my cabinet that I got from the that club that I was telling you guys about before, the Flavier.
Oh, it's so good. It's just so. It doesn't go down so smooth.
Yeah, it's a little too like caramely. Like it's got a little too much like of a brown sugar.
Oh, okay. Then.
Do you know why?
To me,
that's
I don't like that kind of that molassesy caramely taste.
See, what you don't like, I know exactly.
I like light rum.
Yeah, I live down the street.
Again, that goes back to clear.
I live down the street to where they actually had the field where the sugarcane was actually picked,
right,
to go send it to the rum factory. So like, I know I chew that sugarcane. They have the brown sugarcane. They have the white sugarcane, and the brown sugarcane is extra sweet, just like the rum is. And they had a bunch of people there.
Was just like sugar with molasses, wasn't it? Is there actual brown sugar cane?
We're talking about something different.
Hang on. We're talking about something different. Yeah. I am anyway.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I'm not. I'm talking about brown sugar cane and white sugar cane. Those are 2 different ones. Now, as far as brown sugar and white sugar,
I was thinking.
I'm not altogether sure about.
Wait,
No, I might have said that.
I get what you. I
might have
misspoke.
Sugar
I'm
cane,
sorry. That is brown.
No, but I'm just saying specifically, like the brugal that I drank, I don't remember tasting sweet.
It's not.
Yeah, I mean, is that a brand?
It is sweet.
I mean, I've had Dominican.
Yeah, brugal is a brand. Yeah,
brugal is a brand.
Yeah, but it is sweet. But you would only be saying it's sweet in comparison to other things that. You know,
to other things, okay, yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's sweet. It just has like a.
It has the thicker molasses type of feel to the sip.
Yeah,
is what you're saying?
No, it does, and it's going to because it's made from sugar cane. It's literally fermented sugar cane. But let me get back to explaining what brown vodka is real quick. Brown vodka.
Go ahead.
Is vodka aged in whiskey barrels.
Okay, so I've had that before, but I don't know that my vodka's turned out brown.
Well,
it just takes on
the vodka
smokiness.
that comes from the liquor store on 83rd Avenue comes out brown, right? The vodka that they're selling is brown as shit, and it's great. And it doesn't make me fucking. I can drink it safely, and I can't drink dark liquor, but vodka's that shit.
Yeah. I love booze. Me and my lady just put in an order on Amazon and got it delivered last night. Okay, so it's kind of an awkward transition. Sorry. 844-997-0775. Share your first time getting drunk story with us. We want to hear about it. We want to hear about your bondage experience. Share with us if your emotions or not. So we put in an order Thursday night, technically Friday morning, because Amazon, everything else around here was like 5-6 days out. But with Amazon, we waited till midnight because they only open up so many delivery days. So we waited till midnight, and our fucking delivery window was 10 p.m. to midnight last night. Like, we had to stay up till fucking midnight. We're old ass people now. We're old as fuck. Like 11 p.m. we're ready for bed.
Yep.
But we had to get our fucking groceries delivered. We had 2 bags. It was just booze. Like we started we had, because it's getting to start being ice, so we had 3 cases of fucking White Claw. We had some just regular Bud Light. We got some Coronas. We had some
Jesus Christ.
Mike's Hard like,
Brian would have came by.
Part of it was because around here it's
shit.
like you can't get your shit delivered for like a week out. So we're just like, well, when we can, just get it, and we won't have to place an order.
It's amazing. So what was the
funny.
total of your order? Because what you spend in booze is what I spend in pot. So what are you spending?
I mean, we ordered groceries
You stock.
in general, but the booze side of it, I think it was like $120, and it was just beer.
Wow.
It was just the beer.
That's intense.
I love it.
3
I
bottles
love
of wine.
it.
We got 3 bottles of wine. We got 3 cases of White Claw. We got a case of Mike's Hard Lemonade. We got a thing of Bud Light. And I think that was it.
Bro, I got 4 cans of Corona, and that's it. And no one can say shit about me. 4 cans of
We
Corona
still got 2
and a bottle
bottles
of
of
motherfucking
vodka.
water.
We got a thing of Captain Morgan. We got 2 things of Malibu and a bottle of tequila.
Jesus Christ.
The liquor cabinet stays full. The liquor cabinet stays
Obviously.
Being in an older relationship sounds torturous.
Being in an older relationship
booze.
sounds
I love
like
alcohol.
a fucking.
I'm an alcoholic. I can enjoy it.
Sounds like you drink it away most of the time so you don't have to live it.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like.
Sounds like a shipmate's wet dream. Jesus Christ.
But the other thing is, we don't drink every day either. Like, we drink, I might have a beer here and there.
Only when I want to punch her.
Yeah. Take the edge off a little. No. Yeah.
You need a punching bag in your new house, all right? When the Ronies are over.
With my disapproving stare.
When the Ronies are over and you get your house.
Yeah.
I'm buying you a fucking punching bag for your birthday.
That works. I'm down for it. We got a listener question from one of our number 1 fans. Let's just get into this. See what our good friend Sam has to say.
Comfortably Poor's number 1 fan checking in on a Thursday with a question for you fellas. So I just had some really amazing bacon. And delicious. I realized what made it so amazing is that it was really, really crispy. Because I don't think people know how to cook their bacon crispy. I always get this limp dick ham-like bullshit that is a facsimile of what bacon should be. But I also know that other people like bacon flimsier than I do. So, begs the question for all 3 of you. How do you like your bacon? Do you like it more on the crispy side or more on the ham-like side? And even though I don't particularly care for them, how do you like your eggs? Bye.
Yo,
question.
I'll be
I like
I'll
this.
be
I
right
love-
I'll be right back.
I'm not
I'll
a
go last.
I'm not a huge breakfast guy, but when I do, I love big breakfast. I love having hash browns and bacon,
Me too.
and eggs and toast or sausage.
Pancakes.
Yeah, I'm not a big pancake guy. I have
Waffles.
to really be in the mood for pancakes because all that shit fills me up. But I'm all about the potatoes and the eggs and bacon. I'm a crispy bacon guy though. I like mine's got to be crispy. I don't want that flimsy, fatty shit. I'm definitely if I go out and get breakfast, I'm always, hey, bacon, extra crispy, please. You know, give me that. I feel like restaurants though too, they don't put it on the griddle long enough. Like they're trying to whip it out so fast that it comes out limp and fucking soggy, and I'm like, this is gross. I need my shit
So
extra
my
crispy.
mom, I don't know, and there are some people who can do it. Like the diners in Jersey do it so perfect, but like they have a science down to it where it's a perfect crisp, but then you also have, you know, the ability to kind of let the fat just fucking just get so flavorful and fill your mouth up with fucking flavor. It's fantastic. I like it crispy. I do for the most part because if you ask for limp dick bacon, they're gonna fuck it up. If you ask for, you know, crunchy, crispy, whatever, people are gonna over crisp it and they're gonna do a good job. You know, it's very rare that I'll find somebody like my mom or the
agree.
diners that'll do it super, super perfect. Where you still have a nice bite to it. It's still crispy, but you still have a nice bite to it. And a lot of people can't get it that way. So,
You know what's weird about the bacon situation? Like, how crispy? What's the other word? Crispy and less crispy, I guess. More malleable type of bacon. I kind of feel like, yeah, what Dan said is very true, and that my mom and sisters do it the best, and it's part of the reason diners don't even do it well for me. Like no restaurant outside of my family does a lot of dishes well, and bacon happens to be one of them. So like
pancakes. My mom's pancakes.
I hate pancakes altogether. I'm a French toast guy.
You hate bread.
French toast over pancakes.
Oh, French toast. You got that French toast.
Yeah, I don't know what's your
No,
deal
it's
with
just-
the egg and
it's just
matter about the
bread.
egg.
It's bread.
It's French toast, bro. It's French toast.
It's literally a piece of sliced bread that's heated up.
But it's like seasoned with cinnamon
But, like-
and nutmeg and brown
Of
sugar.
course,
Oh,
but I mean
yes.
the basis
Oh,
of
gosh,
it, the
it's-
base of it.
Jesus
And it gets-
Christ.
I'd rather have a
deep,
waffle.
right? It
Listen,
gets
I'm a waffle man.
crusty on the
And
outside,
pockets-
And this is
gooey in the
me,
middle,
right? This is me who hates carbs,
Hates
right?
bread. Yeah.
Hates bread.
Who hates
I'm preaching to you
sweets.
about the gospel of French toast. Exactly. Who hates sweets?
Hates being
preaching about
American.
the gospel about French toast. Dude, don't get punched in the face.
Oh shit!
Not at all.
I missed your answer though, Brandon. What you said, Chris? If you do eat bacon, it's crispy. Or
No,
you do-
if I don't ask is what I was agreeing with Dan. Like I don't ask if I'm outside of my house. But as far as how I like my bacon prepared, I like my bacon prepared. My sister describes it as floppy. It's really hard to get away
so
from that
you do
terminology.
like yours a little more limp.
Yes, I do like. That's how you. Yeah, limp. That's what it was.
Limp,
Yeah, I like mine a little bit more limp. Yeah.
Or Sam actually described it.
I
pretty
like
well.
it.
Hers, she described it more like ham. Like it's like a warmed up piece of ham, salty ham.
I wouldn't say, but I don't want that much ham. I mean, I do want
want
it
it a little more cooked
like
than
that,
that.
but I want it crisp around the edges, you know?
Yeah,
crispy around
Brando's
the
knowing
edges.
exactly what I'm talking about. No, Brando's knowing exactly what I'm talking about. We like our bacon pretty much the same way. There's still a crisp to it, but you can still enjoy the flavor of it. Like when it's just this crispy strip where it's just like, I might as well just get a fucking bacon flavored potato chip.
Or you could just go to the fucking liquor store and buy a bag of Skins.
Skins, exactly. Like, what's the point of making it all the way fucking crispy where you don't taste a little bit of the fat and shit? You need that. You need that.
Fuck yeah, you do.
Fuck yeah, that fat is healthy. Fuck what people try to tell you. That fat is good for you. You need that.
But I will say that bacon, as opposed to ham, is a gradient. I mean, the more crispy, the more narrow, the more edged, and the more cut bacon. The more thick.
If you could only have one meat on your breakfast plate for the rest of your life, bacon, slab of ham, or sausage link or patty, what's your choice?
Sausage patty.
Sausage patty from a restaurant. Not the bullshit little Jimmy Dean faggoty fucking sausage patties. I hate frozen sausage patties. They fucking piss me off.
You have a spoiled palate.
You kind of do.
Love sausage.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen,
I'm not trying to be specific about it. Like,
tastes so.
I get the fresh shit too and make my
sausage
own
patty.
There you go. See, now that's that white privilege shit. Talk your shit, white boy. Talk your shit, young king.
Having a fresh sausage patty, you can buy it in the store. It comes in the little round package.
Yeah, it's not that special.
I mean, everybody has access to it. Although, man, bacon.
I don't give a fuck.
Nobody's taking nothing. Well, you're doing the sausage patties. I thought the links are different with the casing.
I don't mind.
You know, that takes more time. Patties,
too. Sausage patties.
I've only recently started getting back into ham. I was never a big ham guy, but a good thick slab of ham grilled.
How do you feel about like turkey?
But I'm not a big pork person.
Like
overall,
turkey bacon?
So.
Not turkey bacon, but just turkey in general. Because a lot of people like
turkey.
I hate against turkey because of how dried out it is. But you're a white boy.
Nope.
That's a typical answer for a fucking white guy.
Turkey all day. Turkey sandwiches, turkey at Thanksgiving. I'm turkey over ham. See, I've recently learned though. I think I had a bad experience with ham like as a kid because I hated it for so long, and I think it goes back to eating it as a kid where I had like a real like cheap ham, and it was like super fatty and like knotty, kind of like in the center of it, and so when you eat it, you had to chew on it a lot. And so it really turned me off.
That's rough.
So I hated ham for a long time. But I'm recently kind of getting back into ham and like, I think I do like ham. So.
I like ham, but like I love I had this fucking cherry wood smoked turkey when I was hanging out in
and you call me white privilege? This fucking guy.
Listen.
This fucking guy's having cherry wood smoked turkey.
Cherry wood smoked, honey smoked, 1,000%. Listen.
All of this shit is very much available in the store. It's not privileged.
If you're gonna buy
middle class privileged, maybe.
Lunch meat. If you're gonna buy fucking lunch meat.
Oh, this is a good.
Call me white fucking privileged. But I'm going to the motherfucking deli.
I'm gonna try to avoid it.
Okay, I'm going to the deli. I'm not fucking buying no packaged bullshit.
It's too expensive.
Nah, bro. You need that shit.
The only time
if you're gonna spend your money on it, I might as well get the good shit.
There's nothing else available. But if I go there, I'm just gonna go get what sounds good because I'm not gonna connoisseur of.
I'm an oven roasted turkey guy every time. Oven roasted turkey, even from the deli. Occasionally, I might get a roast beef or something, but oven roasted turkey, and I eat a lot of
do roast beef like that.
So I'm fine with the packaged shit. But yeah, I mean, no doubt, shit from the deli where you get them to slice it for you. Hell yeah. I mean, I agree.
Fresh,
100% better than the packaged shit, but I'm not paying $15 for a couple slices.
Whoa. Oh yeah, that's West Coast prices. That's right.
Fuck yeah, it's West Coast.
I mean. Yeah, if I can go to find
fuck
me
you and your
like
fucking
a
bullshit
store Jewish deli that's gonna slice that shit up, and it's
not even that, dude. Like the sales tax is everything, bro. That's gonna cost you depending on the brand. That's gonna cost you about $8 for the pound.
Yeah, no, not out here. Fuck that. You're paying $15.
That's gonna cost you about $8 to $10 for the pound, depending on the lunch meat.
Yeah. I fuck with
and so it really is West Coast prices
too, though.
Hey, does anybody like wraps?
Love a wrap. I eat primarily everything in a wrap. If I'm making a sandwich, it's going in a tortilla. Like I'll eat a regular.
So it's not a sandwich then. You're eating wraps.
I mean, I'm saying, yeah, if I'm eating a sandwich, then yes, I will put it in a wrap. But or if my lady's eating a sandwich, I'll be like, yeah, leave that shit out. I'm gonna make a wrap. Yeah, I eat a lot of wraps.
Wraps are good. Yeah, I got into wraps recently.
Do you guys
steak wraps?
Is it true?
Steak wraps
do you guys
are my
fall
thing.
into that?
Steak is obviously.
It's kind of a steak. Yeah, I see you fucking steak everything.
Yeah,
though,
me and steak.
We all can't afford steak, Brando.
Whose
Jesus
problem is
Christ.
Suck a dick.
I can afford steak. Listen, if I'm at the point in my fucking
Steak
life,
is expensive.
listen, I'm gonna tell you right now.
He's not wrong.
No, steak is expensive, but to me,
But not all.
if
steak
I'm
is
gonna go
expensive.
all out and I'm gonna place an order, I'm gonna get that fucking steak burrito, dog. And if I can't do it, I'm just not gonna fucking do it. I'm just
steak
not gonna order
wraps
it.
are good though.
But if that's what I really fucking want,
gyros.
I love a good gyro, not a gyro. Fucking Jesus.
fuck off.
See,
I call them gyros.
Here's the thing,
But,
right? See, this is the weird problem, right? This is the thing. In
Here we
Chicago,
go.
they say gyro. In the East Coast, they say gyro.
Gyro.
Where you are, they say euro. So I don't know. I'm gonna
That's
get
what it's
shot.
called.
I'm gonna get
It is
shot no
called a
matter what I
gyro.
say. Lick my left nut.
Yeah. Either way, gyro. I grew up with gyro in Jersey. They're fucking fantastic. Serve me
Get
some
guy
with
that
a
really
fucking
knows how
with
to
good
make a fucking
lamb.
decent tzatziki sauce.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Dude,
So fucking
I remember
good.
this one guy, like he had a sauce, right? Like he got into like sauce.
Yeah, he did.
He had some sort of competition. He literally had a sauce that he called seat sauce. Not because of anything special, not because it made you want to sit down, but because it made you want to jump out of your seat. Like literally, that's what this sauce did. And it was spicy, but more than spicy, it was like straight powerful. Like it was sour and oniony and fucking just lethal, bro.
We
Like,
had this place out here
this
called the
sauce-
Greek Deli. Shout out Fody. Fody was
Fody?
the owner. Dude took a shotgun blast to the face, and as soon as he healed up, came back and went right back to work, like straight off the boat from Greece. And he sold all the fucking Greek foods and little salads and stuff, but he had like a hot grill, and that was the spot. Yo, you made the best fucking gyro. And he did these things called Greek fries, and he basically took real potatoes, chopped them up like big and thick, floured them with some like special seasonings and flour, and then deep fried the shit out of them, and served them with like this Greek sauce. It wasn't the tzatziki though. It was like more like I don't know. It was like a pickly kind of ranch sauce. It was so fucking good. And it was $5. $5 for a order of Greek fries and a big ass gyro, and out the door. Done. So good.
Man, I remember
gyros
when
are great.
I
people
love
went
those
like,
mom and pop
fucking
type
enjoy
places
gyros.
like that. Those mom
I
and pop
enjoy
places that
gyros.
give you a taste of what their home cooking really is. It's like, oh, thank you. This is delicious.
It's the best. It's the best, dude.
Yeah, one of my favorite experiences was actually going to an Afghan restaurant by accident, thinking it was a Greek restaurant. It wasn't Greek at all. It was Afghan as hell. I should have known, though, because of the
See,
neighborhood it was in.
I've
It was
tried to
very
get into
Muslim.
some of those things because we got those out here, but when I look at their menu, like I don't know what to get. I don't.
Bro,
Like, I'm
look,
not-
I didn't
some
know
of the
I didn't
stuff
know what to get
doesn't
either, but
sound
what
great, so I'm
I
like,
walked in under the premise of, because my mom had told me that there was a sandwich there that, or something, a specific meal that she had that was really good, and I went in there and I talked to the, because I know a few words in Pashto and a few words in Dari, and I talked to him, made friends with the guy, and I was like, I don't know what to get or whatever. My mom says this is good, and she's like, and he's like, yeah, well, what do you like? What type of food do you like? And I told him. He was like, well, what type of vegetables and meat? And I told him that. And he suggested something, like 2 or 3 things. And I picked out of the 2 or 3 things. And one of the things that I picked is lamb chops. And if you guys remember me in Australia, I'm big on my lamb, right? So I got lamb chops done, obviously, the Afghan way. And it was fucking amazing. It was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
They sure as hell
Food is so good.
fucking know how to cook them some goddamn baby sheep.
Yeah.
So
Murder the
good.
sheep.
Oh,
Food is so good.
Fuck lambs.
Food.
Kill them all.
Food. Food is delicious.
Kill them all and give me some fucking chops, goddammit. Oh, Peter's gonna love this. Man, I hope they all fucking die with the corona.
Not a big lamb chop guy. Not a big lamb chop.
I love lamb chops.
Give it to me shaved.
Love lamb chops.
I love lamb chops.
Mint sauce and everything, like green jelly, whatever, mint jelly. Like you do it with
well,
that, or you
so like
season
in Australia, they have a lot of different types of marinades for lamb, and you can go pick up whatever you want. The honey mint ones, they have the green. I think it's like the green jalap, the one. I think that's the one you're talking about. They have the honey roasted rosemary. I mean, they've got so many different types just lined up there. You know, but in America, that shit is so fucking expensive. How the fuck are you gonna get all that fucking? You can't get that shit's beyond affordable here. You can't get it. I mean, beyond expensive here. Forgive me. That shit it's ridiculous. But in Australia, yeah, they've got huge racks of lamb and just tons of it. Now, granted, it's been different since the drought because they haven't been able to feed those sheep. So all that shit's gone up pretty fucking high. Still not as high as what we would price them out to be in America. Crazy.
844-997-0775. You want to ask us anything? Talk to us about whatever's on your mind. We're here for you. Hashtag Comfortably Poor on Twitter. Use that to chat with us live during the show as well. And at CPPod100 across all social media platforms. Facebook,
do you have that
Live,
video
Periscope,
available?
Twitch, YouTube. We're here. Which one?
The one about the mom whooping that ass.
Oh, yeah.
I love these videos so much.
Let's see.
I'm gonna take a shot with. Do you guys have alcohol around? Can you take a shot?
I've been drinking beer since the beginning of the show.
Oh, you've been drinking beer. Okay, all right. I'm just slow. Give me a minute. Fuck it.
Oh, here it is. All right. So it's kind of a long video, but you'll get the gist of it. And then I think after this, we'll transition into this. We talked about a little bit before the show. We're going to kind of stroll
Beat that ass.
through the World Star music category, and check out some of these unsigned artists. Looks like it might be something we're going to probably be trying to do in the future. So if you are an artist and you want us to check out your music, you can send it to us, inbox@comfortablypoor.com. And we'll stream it, we'll play it, we'll talk about it, and give you our honest feedback, and give you a little free promotion on your track. So again, inbox@comfortablypoor.com or at CPPod100 across all social media platforms. I think this lady's doing the right thing here. If you go through and read the comments, though, a lot of people said she's wrong for this, but I disagree.
Here, set your phone up here beside mine and go live on Instagram. You think you grown. You cuss. You use big cuss words. On live. You gonna get this ass whooped on live. And who told you you could have company? Who told you they could cuss? All to whoop their ass. They was cussing too, but I have to whoop their mammy asses. So hurry up. Don't act like you can't get on there. I didn't even know you could go live. Okay, you live? Go on over there and get on the couch. Go on over there and get on the couch. You cuss? Huh? You cuss?
Yeah, my teacher told you.
I don't give. You're not grown.
I know, and I said, sorry if I cursed a little bit.
A little bit. Every other word was a cuss word. I screen recorded it. Woo! Come on over here. Get on over here. Turn around. 'Cause I know you got about 2, 3.
Bring that ass.
I'm not sure it's on.
Get it!
better. Give me that phone and everything and tell them to get their asses up. They going home.
She got in that
Now
ass.
tell Lyle bye.
Bye.
Come on, tell him bye. Tell him bye. Tell him bye.
Huh?
Woo-hoo! Yo.
Look,
Yikes.
this.
I love
course,
when
in
mom's
look.
giving a good whooping and she's just like, yeah, I'm gonna tip them.
The syllable hits, bruh. Look, here's the deal. In 2020, that's gonna definitely be disagreed with, right? But I don't see this any differently from, the humiliation that comes from, hey, I did something wrong. I stole from a store, and the parent makes the kid wear something that says I stole from the store on a sign and makes them stand outside for a while so that people see that he was a little fucking thief.
Wait, which part of this are you saying that you don't see differently?
I'm saying that both of those scenarios are not. This is humiliation, however you slice it, right?
Like on the concept of the spanking or the concept of her doing it on video?
The concept of people seeing it go down. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree.
The concept of people seeing it go down. And I think that
I agree.
That's humiliation. I get the point of it. Like, we've had conversations on this podcast about spanking kids. I'm not against spanking, but in 2020, that is a major fucking thing that you don't want going out on the internet. You being the spanker of your child, you don't want that to be on the internet. A lot of people are going to think really wrong of her.
I disagree. I think it's
I'm not saying she's wrong for it. I want to make that very clear. But because I'm all for spanking your children, and I'm all for if they're not going to learn a lesson. The thing is, we don't know the story. Like, so many people fucking try to assume that they feel like they know the story. How many times did she go live before, or how many times did she do things that had to do with cursing before? Did she curse in school and get in trouble?
I think we
and
know
maybe
the story on this one. She's trying to be too grown.
No. But what I'm saying is, how many times has this happened before she finally felt like she had to go to this point?
Right.
She's obviously spanked her like that before, so that's not new. Right. So I'm talking about the idea of, because she went live is why she went live and spanked her on live. No, if I'm going to draw my own conclusion, I feel like, and I want to hope, because I would not do this if my kid cursed. Cursing is just not a fucking... I'm going to talk to you about it, but I'm not going to wild out like that, right? But again, how many times has this kid done this before? Did she curse in school? Did she get caught cursing on a Facebook post and not live, and maybe she got spanked of this before without her mom going on camera? The thing is, I would like to believe that a lot of people are pushed. And maybe that's the naive side of me, but I would like to believe that a lot of people are pushed to a point where they have to do this kind of shit to get the point across to the kid. They keep acting up. They keep doing shit that makes me look bad as the fucking parent. So now I gotta fucking embarrass your ass so that you know who the fuck is in charge, right? But
yeah.
So we don't know. We don't know the story. We don't know how many times this kid has gotten in trouble for the same fucking thing, and now you gotten in trouble for the same thing before and you want to do it on live now? So we don't know the real story behind this, but I'm not against it. Fuck it.
A lot of this to me all comes down to being a good parent. And you probably will always hear me say something, either that or something like it, when it comes to parental situations, because
I think to whip my dog's ass.
For some children, for some children,
dude, choke really that thing and throw it out the window, please.
Shut up.
For some children, I think that like corporal punishment or the whole concept of like hitting your kids, either with your hand or other objects, I think that works to a certain degree, especially if you know how to use it. But I also think that other kids don't need that. Other kids need different methods. So that good parenting for this slot anyway is going to come down to like being able to know what type of child do you actually have? Who are you dealing with? Are you dealing with a child that's going to respond better to a stern voice? Or are you dealing with a child who's going to respond better to a stern hand? Because history is full of kids who just did not respond very well to spankings at all. People seem to have this idea that if you spank your kids, that's automatically going to fix them. And I'm here to tell you that that's not how life works. You
I
cannot.
don't know, man. I feel like I see too much of this bullshit out here with these fucking parents today. That's, you know, fucking evergreen, count to 10, and then you're gonna be off punishment. Lance, and then it's like, fuck you, mom. Fuck you. I hate you, bitch. Like,
but that's a stereotype. I think that's a stereotype that might fit into the slot.
No,
that might hang on, no. Well, hang on.
No. I'm gonna let you finish, true. But that's crazy.
No, hold on.
I'm gonna tell you, man.
Stereotypes are stereotypes because they're often true. So it's not to say that doesn't happen. We know that happens. That's why it's a stereotype. It's a trope. But the thing is, when it comes to the kids, like that do that sort of shit, it's very easy to see that those might be the kids who need their asses beat. Those might be the ones. And if you recall, that's what I just said a few minutes ago.
It's these real Gen Y. It's the people that are like that later millennial, like
the one when we were younger, when I was younger, like and there was 16 and pregnant. The ones that were 16 and pregnant.
No. This is
100% it is. It's 100%. It's these 25-year-olds and 20.
Well, here, first off, it is the people. It is the people
and
of
like,
that.
I'm not gonna
in that
beat my
bracket
because I got spanked and I don't.
No. Hang on,
blah, blah, blah.
bro. It is the kids in that age bracket, but it's not. It's not like it's because they're. It's not because they're those kids. Those kids are going to do stupid shit like that regardless. Is it going to be necessarily that shit? No. But when I was running outside and doing shit that had nothing to do with a computer, had nothing to do with bad-mouthing my parents, had nothing to do with anything, I got in trouble and did a lot of really stupid shit. The stupid shit just didn't boil down to being retarded online and getting caught for it. I was just a lot smarter, and I did it outside. But I got my ass beat. And the reason I got my ass beat is because it's
the people that are your age now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, kids. And you're saying that it's people my age, and I'm saying that it's people that kids do this in general throughout history. This is not specific to a generation. You are saying that it's Generation Y. I'm saying that kids do this throughout the generations. Like this is not,
I disagree.
It's just
no. I disagree.
It's just not the same type of shit.
My era when I talk back, I got backhanded quick.
And so did this person. Yes, you got backhanded quick, and so did this kid right here. The only difference is that
that's what I'm saying.
This person got backhanded online.
But you got these soft ass parents out here that are, I'm saying, the parents that are your guys' age right now, that have 5 and 6, 7, 8 year olds, that are soft on their kids because I'm not going to raise my kids like
I agree that kids
me.
I agree that kids that parents spank their kids less. What I'm saying is that the kids' behavior, the way the kids are acting, is not anything different. It's not anything that we haven't seen before. Just like police beatings, just like women being frisky out in public.
I 100% agree.
All of that, none of that shit's new.
But nothing
the kids are acting out
to correct it.
Well, I guess it depends on whose household you're talking about. Don't include mine.
Majority.
I'm going to use a large majority of the households when I saw kids that you can say in school, and maybe it didn't work for some, right? And maybe they weren't getting their ass beat or they were missing parents. But I remember hold on. Of cases that you see of students,
who have kids.
I remember in school the words, I'm going to call your mom or we're going to get your parents in here for a meeting, was enough to make you freak the fuck out for a lot of kids.
True story.
And that was because you knew that ass was going to get spanked. You knew you were going to get fucked up.
Well, what you knew was
so that was a majority of situations. Now that's not happening.
It wasn't guaranteed to be a
That's
spanking.
not happening.
It seems like there's a bit of fixation on this concept of spanking. And that's something I want to know before we continue.
However you punish your kid
So that's my question. Are we fixated on spanking or are we fixated on parental punishment?
I'm
because
talking
I have
about
no
physical punishment. Physical punishment versus verbal and mental.
Wait.
You take 10
taking
deep breaths
away,
and then you
wait,
can
no,
step off your bed. Go
well, that's
stand
physical.
on your stool.
Do you are talking about hitting?
Go sit in your thinking chair.
You're talking about hitting with belts.
Some ass.
Yeah, whipping ass. Right, exactly.
Exactly
Exactly what I thought. I just need to verify.
Switch.
I just need to verify that's what we're talking about. So do you think so this gets back to my other question, my earlier question. Are
not
you
in an abusive factor? I do want to make that clear.
See, that's where, and I'm very happy you decided to slide that little qualifying statement in.
Don't be one of those fucking people that because
I'm glad you decided.
Yeah.
Well, you don't spank your kid.
Abusive?
You don't spank your kid, and I wouldn't say that.
If I had a kid, though, I would be that person, and so
right. Well, see, I've
actually
got 2 kids, and I have no problem spanking them, but I'm going to spank them for very specific reasons.
But you're not abusive if you spank them. Let's make that very clear.
No,
you're not abusive if you spank them, because that's what it sounded like what you said with Adam. That is what it sounded like.
What I'm actually saying, right? What I'm actually saying and asking, and I'm trying to clarify. And that's why I said before we go on with the conversation, I have to clarify whether or not you're talking what the problem is. Is the problem parental punishment or is the problem the type of punishment? You're talking about, obviously, now that we've got it clear, the type of punishment. You're talking about
anymore.
Whooping some ass.
Period.
That's those were your exact words.
Anymore.
You're saying it's not done enough anymore.
Yes.
So my question to you,
physical punishment.
My question to you though,
about this talking softly to little Stuart and
no, I agree that's not that. When the pendulum swings in the complete opposite direction, it's neither one is right. I don't think abuse is right, and I don't think talking and telling the kids to count to 1-10 is right. What I'm saying is, I said this on another podcast. You need to know what type of child you're dealing with. B, you need to be able to decide and have informed decisions, hopefully, on how best to deal with your kid. Some kids are going to respond well to getting their asses beat. Yes, to getting spankings, to getting, whatever type of corporal punishment you decide to pick. Other kids are going to respond a lot better to the stern voice, to timeouts, to grounding, to you are not going to have your iPad, to you're not going to have your phone, to you're not going to be able to go outside or ride your bike. All of those things are going to work for different children, and you need to be able to figure out which of those things works best for your kids. I don't think every situation works for every kid.
So here's the deal:
emotion and
that's my
shit
situation.
Comes in because I you adapt to me like I'm the parent. I'm not adapting to you. This is my house, my rules, my way until you're 18 years old. You adapt to me. I'm not adapting to you. If my ass whoopings, you don't figure it out, well, they're going to happen. They're going to keep happening until you do figure it out. You're going to be
But you as a parent, what are you adapting to?
And
you as a parent, what are you adapting to?
You learn this early.
You as a parent, what are you adapting to?
Adapting to the ways of how to punish your kid these days is what he's saying.
I'm not
I think.
adapting anything. Yes.
But see, that's
my child is going to adapt to me.
This whole mindset that you could possibly be abusive or you're a shit parent because you spank your children, and I think that's a terrible thing.
What you're adapting to is your environment. And that's my entire point. So here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. In the United States, the reason we can get away with being softer on kids is because our kids don't have nearly as much to worry about. In places that are a lot more dangerous, those laws aren't there because they know that those kids are going to be subjected to more dangerous stuff. So if you're going to, when you say that you want to, the kids need to, conform to the parent, to a certain degree, I agree with you. They have to. You have to listen to your fucking parents. It is legal for you to listen to your parents. And if you're not a certain age, it's illegal for you not to listen to your parents. I'm not opposed to what you're saying to a certain degree, again. But if your kid has autism, if your kid has some sort of serious problem, if your kid has some sort of mental issue or even a physical issue, to a certain degree, you have to conform to your kid. No. This is very simple. I don't know why this is not hard at all. You have to conform to each other, is what I'm saying.
In disabilities, I
am, because there are kids out there that have them, and whether or not it's an actual disability that we know about, there are kids that are different. There are all types of fucking people, and it's not about. So yes, I agree with you that the kids need to conform to the parents.
In a normal, everyday situation with not a retarded child.
Well, you said retarded.
There's gotta be.
I did.
I said about retarded.
Look, I didn't think that that's be something that I would have to sit there and explain. Obviously, under mental, physical disabilities, whatever they may be, then yes, of course, you have to adapt to your child.
Yeah, but it's not just mental or physical disabilities. I threw that out there because it's obvious. It's not just mental or physical disabilities.
Exactly, it's obvious.
It could be. Oh my God! But in this conversation, we're just talking about spanking kids.
It could be
everything. Of course, changes if a kid is fucking mentally disabled or is fucking like. Of course, you're gonna adapt different and you're gonna do things differently. That's a no-brainer. We're just talking about the act of spanking kids.
No, but again, you're talking about the act, but this is the problem. You're being general when talking about something like this is exactly what people who talk about the situation get shitted on for. And I don't.
Are there more kids without Down syndrome and autism over?
I'm just under
people without
the assumption.
That's a bad question. The question would be: Are there more? How many parents are actually alienating children? That's the question. Whether it be for Down syndrome, whether it be for being gay, whether it be for being a female, whether it be for being whatever it happens to be. How many parents are actually alienating children? I'm here to tell you that it's quite a few. Well, you say
when we're talking about a topic like this for the purpose of our show, I operate under I shouldn't have to explain.
If we talk about baseball games, now we got to talk about how we can adapt it for Down syndrome and autistic and
hang on
physical disability. Like that's what you're saying, dude.
No. The only reason we're explaining that, the only reason we're having to explain this is because you said that parents. You said this is when emotion gets involved.
No, he said
no. He said
adapt.
This is
You're
when
talking about adapt, right?
Gets involved.
You made a comment about adapting, and I said that the child has to adapt to me.
Yes,
but
that's what you said.
The circumstances
has to adapt to how he punishes the kid. That's what he's saying.
The circumstances that you're putting out there now with a disability being at hand, whether it's mental, whether it's physical.
Obviously, you're going to punish differently.
You're fixated on disability. You're fixated on.
But that's what you brought up, brother.
I brought up disability because it's obvious. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be disability.
It's obvious, and that's why I didn't even go to that area. I would need to talk about that.
Well, the reason you need to talk about it is because we're talking about kids.
Billy Joe, who's perfectly normal with no problems, doesn't have ADD.
Perfectly
he's just a normal kid.
Perfectly,
he's my kid.
Dude, perfectly normal. What the fuck does that even mean?
Oh, come on, dude.
Man. You know what we're talking.
This is me disagreeing with the characterization.
You are 1,000%. We're trying to have a generalized conversation about spanking kids. Okay, so then, well, fine. We'll talk about what do you think this kid was? What do you think this little girl was? Do you think she was? Do you think this little girl likes girls? Do you think this little girl has Down syndrome? Do you think this little girl has autism? Do you think if we're gonna do that, we're just gonna fucking assume everything about every situation?
Well, that'd be stupid because you're just being short-sighted and you obviously don't have a very.
Oh my God! What the fuck?
But let me actually answer.
Are you
question,
yo?
Right? Let me answer your question, right? So you what I would assume about this girl is actually what you said earlier.
I'm fucking mind blown right now.
That she had done this before, and that's why her mom is so angry. Now, that comes from a bit of anecdotal experience, and it comes from a bit of knowledge of what happens when you build up black moms, right? Like that's just something that does tend to happen. That's what I think happened, personally. But I have no fucking idea. Just like you said, it would be you said this already. It would be ridiculous, and this has really nothing to do with the whole concept of spanking in this generation, by the way. But like you said, people always want to assume they know what happened or ideas about what happened when they have no fucking concept or idea of the lead up. And I think that's exactly what's happening here.
When we're having a conversation about spanking,
I'm not thinking about
for me
somebody with disabilities, bro. I'm just not.
And I guess this goes back to what we talked about a little bit ago. Brando analyzes things way more. He has to rev up and he has to rev down. So during that process, he's analyzing every detail. He's breaking down every detail. It's the way his mind works. And for me, I operate all the time under, I'm not talking about anything outside of the norm. And I get it. What's the definition of normal? Who's normal? What's perfectly normal? I don't operate like that.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's not about disabilities, bro. It's about differences. It doesn't have to be a disability.
So like
quote unquote.
So like one of my biggest
quote unquote disabilities.
Well, you keep throwing out Down syndrome and blindness and all this. Has nothing to do with Down syndrome. It could just
so one of my biggest annoyances
from another person.
One of the biggest things that annoys me, guys. Hold on a minute. One of the biggest things that annoys me is when I'm having a conversation with somebody and this is like, you know, and it happens with a lot of my female friends, right? And I'm making a generalized statement because I work the same way. I work the same way as Adam. I speak in because I'm not trying to sit here because you can do that for everything. Where does it stop?
Unless I am being specific.
Where does it fucking stop? Unless I'm being specific.
The question is when and where you should be specific, and that's the whole point.
But
that's the whole point.
If I'm
there's a
speaking
time
about
to be
women,
general
if
and a
I'm
time not to, and I think people are bad judges of character of when that time is and when that time is not to.
Let me give this example.
There's also people that are bad about that are too specific. At the wrong times.
I agree. There are people that are too specific.
I think you were wrong in being too specific because we were just talking about.
Yeah, I do too. So like for example, specifically here, like I'll ask women, I'll speak to women about the conversation that I've brought up here before, where, you know, why do you think women cheat? Why do you think women cheating hurts men more? And when I'm speaking like that, I'm just speaking in like I don't want to say I don't have to say all women or most or some. I don't have to fucking like generalize because if you know who I am, specifically me, I'm just talking. I'm just trying to have a conversation. I'm trying to bullshit with the homies. And with my friends, and some of my female friends are the fucking homies. We're chatting. We're fucking chilling. I don't want to have to sit here and have to specify every single time. Yeah. Okay. Most girls, guys, by the way, most girls, or some girls, not all, guys, not all, and just takes up the conversation and just fucking ruins it. And I think that's what happened here. I think that if we just focus on all the differences that could be a possible factor as a child.
We can actually do that, but this sort of dialogue is kind of why we aren't. So I want to get us back on track again. I want to get this question out, And the question is, Adam, do you think that whipping solves all problems?
Do I think what solves all problems?
Do you think that spanking solves all problems? Like, do you think that solves?
I don't think that is the solve all. No, I think that.
So at least that is that tiny speck of common ground that I think that we can agree on at this point. The question is,
so when you see people,
this is what my generation has learned, and I agree to a pretty decent extent with them on this.
But wait, hold on. When you say learn, let me ask this real quick because it's going to go with.
Okay.
When you say learn, are you talking about what you've learned from books, or from?
No, when I say we, I'm talking about us as a whole, right? I'm talking about the whole generation, not even just mine.
But again, are you talking about from book learning or
from watching what people do and how people are?
Okay.
Because that's how do you think that ends up in books? What we put in books is our experiences.
I sure could be. I believe books could be very opinionated.
I think books are opinionated. Books are opinionated. It's my opinion that the world is 4.5 billion years old. It's the guy down the street's opinion that the world is 6,000 years old. Who's got the better, more informed opinion? Exactly. You see what I mean? So it's all opinion.
I'm just saying, if we're going to talk about like child learning abilities and things like that, and what the
I'm on both things as far as the Earth's age. That's physics. I'm going to go with the people's opinion on physics.
I'm going with that 4.5 billion.
As far as child rearing, I'm going to go with the psychologist's opinion on that. And what I'm saying is pretty much by the fucking book.
Counteract their opinion, then I think they're full of shit.
Yeah. Listen, if you can counteract it, then you should do it because their opinion can be wrong. Their opinion can be wrong. If you can counteract it, then I think you should totally do it.
100%. And that's
do it.
Yo,
I'm all
I
for
love it.
I'm all
I
for
love
it.
sitting here watching
I'm
this.
just trying to understand how much you think this spanking of your children actually works. How far are we going?
Well, see, here's the thing, Brando. When I see examples.
Okay. There we go. I like that. No, I like what you just said there. You're not going to black their eyes. That's a great starting point because there's a lot of people who say, "Well, I'm not going to hit them with objects, but as long as I'm hit them with my hands."
I operate under the assumption that I don't have to explain and talk to retards and be like, I'm not going to sit there and box my child. Like it's fucking.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking kick my kid's fucking face in and fucking drag them through the mud and fucking throw them into my fence and fucking slam them upside my house. Like I don't have to explain that. If you think I'll do that, please turn this fucking podcast off.
Yes. Please.
Please turn the fucking podcast off.
No one fucking knows what either one of us is going to do. So it would be absurd to think that just because someone turns on a podcast, they're going to know what either.
Is it absurd to think that the majority of people would slam their kids up against their wall?
You think our fan base really thinks that we need to explain that we're not going to box our children? I mean, I don't have kids, but the assumption that I had kids.
Do you think that people would support this podcast if they felt like we would box our children?
Adam, I'm going to tell you something.
That's
had
the question.
idea that you would actually let someone fuck you in the ass for $1 billion up until recently.
Hey.
But
money talks, baby.
Sometimes
money's money. He said money's money.
Money talks, baby.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean? That's a perfect example. It's a case by case situation, and that's how I take it. There are certain times to take things in general.
Me getting fucked in the ass versus me
they're definitely
throwing
case by
blows
case
with
situation.
a child. It's two different things.
Throwing blows. We're talking about
that
I'm talking
motherfucker
about
on
discipline.
beer.
There are people who actually think a slap in the mouth. You know what I mean? Or a broken nose.
I think Brando on beer is a reckless man, bro.
I do understand that, but if I say spanking, I'm not slapping you across the face.
And that's what I'm saying. There are people who have different ideas of what spanking is. To you, what is spanking? Do you mean with a belt?
Well, those people are fucking retarded cages.
Do you mean with a belt?
And I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to our people that know who we are and know that we don't have to sit there and break it down and explain to them word by word.
I'm talking
to
anyone. I'm talking to anyone who might click onto this podcast. So I want to be as clear.
I might kick your dog like a soccer ball.
When you say spanking, are you talking about belts?
That's what I might do.
No, I'm okay. So I'm not one for using a thing. I will only use my hand. I will only slap you on the ass and spank you. I'm not gonna get the belt. I'm not gonna get a switch. I'm not hitting you with an object other than my hand. My skin on skin or skin on.
You see, but that's what I'm talking about, brother. Adam, listen, this is what I mean, dude. This is what I'm talking about.
I get it. I get everything.
You get where I'm coming from.
I know what you're saying, bro. And Brando, we've had these conversations before, especially when we had the hold on. We've had these conversations about the gun talk and how specific you have to be about gun talk. I remember when I flipped out on the air one time about saying like, "Oh, it doesn't have to be specific."
That's even more specific.
And that's my point. And that's my point. You speak in specifics. I understand, brother, that we're fucking friends for a reason. I understand where you come from most of the time. And in this one, I get what you're saying. And I get why you're saying that we need to be specific. But I would like to be under the same assumption as Adam and say that our listeners are smart enough to know that we wouldn't fucking kick our kids into fucking rivers and oceans and have them drown to death. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wait.
I don't think we need to be specific.
If you get where I'm coming from, then what was the last thing that I was just saying? Is steel man the last thing that I just said? You get where I'm... Because I really wonder if you do.
You're saying that people have a very different... Like, they look at spanking differently. Everybody has a different view on how to spank their children. It goes from the extreme of kicking your kids down the steps and choking them to what Adam said, using your hand and just swatting them on the butt.
Well, hold on.
I get what you're saying.
Well, that is a decent framework, but let's extend the sort of range. It goes from people using soft voices and counting to 10, like Adam was describing, to people getting Joe Jackson type ass whippings with fucking like extension cords and fucking the legs of stools and like the arms of couches being thrown. Like,
I mean, we just saw the video.
That is
right?
the
like,
range.
She was
right.
obviously
Well, no, that was not. No,
right.
no. That was nothing. That no, that was nothing.
I get it. I'm talking about using an object though, because you talked about using extension cords.
Right, and that's what I'm talking about.
Obviously, using a device. Being,
yes.
Whether it was a belt or a rope or whatever.
But you said that using your hands is an applicable means of spanking, and I get it. And there are a lot of people who agree with that. But my mom thinks that belts are okay. Now, nothing above a belt. She wouldn't grab a cord or anything. But that's my whole point, and that's what I'm asking. Like, what are we talking about when we talk about spanking? Because I come from a generation where I was still getting switches.
Well, even
whooping you with
anybody ever had to get a switch
or an extension cord or whatever it may have been. That's still spanking to me. Just because I'm using my hand, I do it, the device that I use, you're getting a spanking. You're getting a whooping. That's semantics.
We can agree though.
A semantics important,
right?
Because bracking. Where's the line drawn though?
Hold on. We can agree though that fear, the fear that comes from it is the same, right? I'm gonna try to get a word in edgewise. The fear is the same, right? The kid that goes home. My mom used belts and chancletas, right? That's the Spanish shit. Hands, belt, chancleta, right? But I had friends that talked about. I had friends that talked about the extension cords. I had friends that talked about, and I heard stories on Elvis's show and on the radio of people calling in talking about how they used to be told to kneel in rice for 5 to 30 minutes, depending on the case. So it ranged. I totally get the range, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the fear is the same. That kid who got beat with the extension cord had the same amount of fear as me going home to my mom possibly spanking me on the ass with her hand.
I don't think whatever the device is matters. If I say spanking, if I say whooping, you're getting a whooping, you're getting a spanking. I'm laying that foundation of however it's going to happen from the first time it happens. The first time it happens, then you're probably getting a belt. That's probably my device. Whatever the device is to get that job done, I don't think matters. Every parent's going to have a different device. Now, again, if they start whipping you across the face, across your body, across your whole...
Facts.
All over the place. If they're not just whipping you on the ass, I feel like the ass spanking, period, is the punishment. If
so
you
where
start
you...
taking it further than that, now we're talking about where I feel like you were kind of going. We're getting into the abusive territory. We're getting into the... This is more than
which I'm totally against.
But
that's a no-brainer, guys. I don't want you to shoot kids. I don't want you to fucking.
The place where you draw. No.
Don't beat women.
This is the thing, dude. No,
don't cheat.
This is what I'm trying to. Dan. I'm trying to stay away from that, dude. Let's stay away from the edges. I want to figure out where he's drawing the line, and he just answered it. And you draw the line, Adam, at body parts. If it's not on the ass, that's when you start to have a problem with it.
And again,
that's what it sounds like.
Sure, but I feel like I shouldn't have to explain that to our moronic listeners that need that explanation. If I have to sit there and explain,
listen, like you said, emotion
is,
and passion. When that emotion and passion is cranking in those veins, sometimes that belt goes everywhere. Doesn't always hit your ass. And sometimes it, and that shit, they don't give a fuck. I mean, god damn, nigga, that shit is whack. That bitch is.
And you're thinking about the syllables. You're not thinking about the hitting.
You are, yo, I'm telling you, your shit is a motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm telling you. You're learning how to count seconds with that motherfucker.
Hell
Bop,
yeah.
Bop,
bro, you're learning how to cover up vital areas. I knew how to cover up vital spots long before I took the class. Long before. I mean, that bitch was putting shoulders into that shit. Like, goddamn, you slave.
That bitch was getting her fucking Barry Bonds on, goddammit.
Yo,
bro, I'm telling you.
That bitch was swinging.
Talk to her.
Hi.
I'm dead. So I was calling because while I agree with spanking, and while I don't see hand to ass as abuse, I was one of those kids that spanking began to get not effective for me anymore.
Yeah,
exactly.
We saw in the comment. We saw in the comments. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my whole point, Sam.
Oh, no.
There are far too many people like Sam who just don't get affected by it. It just doesn't work, either because of some sort of getting used to it or whatever.
Because I didn't put this in the comments. So when I couldn't have been more than 5 or 6, and I have a sister who is 7 years older than I am. When you have a sister that's old enough to babysit you, you do one of two things. And it's only that one sister, you do one of two things. You either emulate their behavior or learn what not to do. So I got ballsy, and my mom spanked me for something. And I looked her, I still can't believe I did this. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "That didn't hurt."
That's only going to get you more of a whooping. I was that same kid too.
Anymore, so
I wasn't.
She just yelled at me instead.
Because that's that white shit. That's that white shit. That's that cultural shit right now that I gotta fucking see what the fuck I'm saying. This is why you curse at your parents later. This is why white fucking people are cursing. Fuck you, mom. Go fuck yourself, dad. Yo, shut the fuck up, dad. That's why you're doing that. That's why you're doing that, because they gave up. Because they gave the fuck up. If that was a Hispanic or black mom, bruh, she's like, "Oh, word? That didn't hurt, nigga? You testing a nigga right now, for real?"
He's right. No, Dan is telling you the truth right now. Right now, he's being, that is the truth. But listen, like I just said, I was not that person. I was not that person who's about to say, "It didn't hurt." Yeah, this shit fucking hurt. What
Facts.
the fuck are you doing?
I was not looking at my mom and saying that
leather.
Shit. I knew what was coming. In fact, I knew what was coming.
Motherfuckers over here talking about hands and shit. Dude, hands versus leather, bro. There's no fucking comparison. I wish she would hit me with her hand. She didn't know how to hit with her hands very well. Probably would have hurt her hands more than me.
Oh, your mom's about to
I joked around, but you're so right
Shit.
about the culture thing.
I remember raising my hand to my mom once. She was like, "What did you just do?" I was like, "Oh shit."
That was
yeah,
oh
shit.
That was it, I'm sure. But they never punished us like you guys were talking about. Oh, you know, teachers with their and to call your parents or whatever. Yeah, that I never saw that done over here ever. Like threatening.
I remember kids would shake. They would be like, "No, sorry, no." That's
the burbs. It's what you get when you grow up in the burbs. It really is.
Wow.
And
culture is so crazy. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, culture for sure. So we've talked about this before too, and then we'll kind of wrap it up with this topic, and then I'll play one or two tracks from World Star. Let's try and get in this new segment. But
sure.
My first experiences of really, I mean, I'm sure I got spanked by my mom and my dad a little bit when I was younger, but I don't really remember it. But my first real time getting spanked that I can remember, it was my mom's boyfriend. It wasn't even a family member. It was a guy my mom was dating, and she allowed it. Like, that's a whole nother conversation. We could probably go on for 30 minutes about that. Like, letting your significant other punish your child. Like, it's not even his child, not even their child, and still, like, but he was the first one to, and that, and like Sam said, for me, I was probably 7, 8, and I did something I probably shouldn't have, and he whipped my ass. And it was the guy I was telling you about before the show, Dan, that was burly guy, you know, construction guy, big dude.
Yeah.
And I turned around and just said, same thing. I just laughed and said, that what was that? Like I was testing him. Like, come on, let's go, dude. Let's go rounds in the backyard.
Yeah, my dad
right
was
now.
the same way.
That's all you got.
But I also think it's because it's. I also think it's who is in authority, right? Or who has the authority, right? Because my dad tried the same shit with my brother and I. And we just laughed in that motherfucker's face. And we would torture that man. We would fucking torture that man. So, you know, I would fucking spray the shit out of his colognes to waste them. I would grab money out of his fucking wallet. I would waste his calling. When I was 5, 6, 7, I was wasting his calling cards calling my mom. I just remembered because I was just fascinated with typing on all the numbers, and my brain was so fucking amazing as a kid. I could remember all the fucking digits to the calling cards. So I would just remember them and then just call my mom and just waste the shit. And he would be like, why don't I have fucking shit on this card? Huh?
My brain is
I don't
like
know,
that now with
Dad,
numbers.
that's crazy.
Like fucking Rain Man.
That's fucking crazy.
Right. As a kid now.
That shit's gone now, though.
Oh no!
Yeah, fuck no!
I'm a whiz with those. All right. Well, that was a good.
That was a good one.
If you got anything you want to say about anything that we talked about, the phone lines, even after we are off the air, phone lines are there for you guys to leave voicemails. 844-997-0775. You can ask us anything there as well. We will air it on a future show. Again, shout out to Sam with the phone call and the question earlier about bacon.
Yo, Hannah, thank you for showing love too in the chat, and everybody else who's watching. Hannah. We appreciate it. James, I also saw on Twitter, he said he liked his bacon with the crispy, but preferably with like the fatty edges. So the fatty ends.
Let's do one or two quick songs here. Just try a new segment.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you are an artist and you hear this, you're interested in getting a little airplay, getting a little reaction from us. You can get your music to us, inbox@comfortablypoor.com, or hit us with a link on Twitter or Facebook at CPPod100. Let us know what you got, and we'll probably probably play it on a future show. So this is just some world star rappers. These are all unsigned artists. I won't play anything that's from a potential label. So this is just the first one I'm going to come to. We'll see how this goes. This might not be a good segment, but
Sam said, "You give me crap for being a bad kid." LOL. By the way, also she said, "I love you all a lot." Also, my friend Hannah has been watching and has been listening to the podcast in front of her mom. So shout out to Hannah and her mom. Shout out.
Appreciate it.
I love that.
This is Alicia Goku. Hopefully I said that right. Maybe she'll come.
All right. Let's get this Dragon Ball Z character on the air.
Oh, Goku, right? Yeah, Goku was a trade. The song is called Basement. So we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
When we try and play a little bit of here.
We do not save code. Cha-ching equals Gucci plus cars. If you didn't understand it. So, do we fuck bitches a lot or like? It's about a third of my time. So, we fuck bitches just as much as we work. But then we smoke weed. You know, more.
I planted ganja in my backyard, baby, it's an investment. You know it's gas when that chest hit. It must be bread if we texting. Know it's property if we flexing. And all my hoes gotta check in. Make sure we all get them checks in. Gucci all on my necklace. Ay, pounds all on my whip. I made 20 racks in a month. Sitting from my crib. Let me talk my shit. Put y'all up on game. Show y'all dedication like my name went. Or like my name was Drake. Cause it never was the same. Shorty got the Uber waiting. She tryna debate if she should stay. I got weed for days. I got raps and J's. Maybe you should chill. Kick it with some rib. I got penny meals. Case you need your belly filled. I like my chicken grip. I got some friends in the back room. They making moves for the bank. I got some pounds in the bathroom. They sitting behind the sink. I do not fuck with that drink. No, that shit'll kill you. Baby girl, please get familiar. Baby girl, please get your skills up. I want a Rolls Royce. The number one hoes choice. These bitches wait.
It got better. It got better. She started off so whack.
I counted up in the days in. I'm getting money now. So you hoes better know your placement.
All right.
Yeah, she got better.
What's your initial thought?
She got better. That second half of that verse got super spicy. That shit's hard.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I like her. She has got bars.
That bitch was barring up though. She was barring up though.
I'm gonna be honest. For that beat was a lot better than her bars were. So take that for what it's worth.
Well, that's why I said like I feel like she started off mad whack. I feel like it started off super slow, but yo, that she started spinning. So,
all right. Well, there wasn't another one on this page. I thought there was two of them here to play. We'll wrap it up on that. But that's just a little sample. I think we could do something there. So if you are up and coming artist, want to get a little airplay, free airplay for the time being, hit us up, inbox at comfortablypoor.com. Drop those links at CPPod100 across all social media platforms. When we go off the air, the phone lines are still there for you guys. 844-997-0775. Hashtag comfortablypoor on Twitter. Fuck with us. We appreciate y'all. This is the Comfortably Poor Podcast.